Hey folks, I was talking to my brother this weekend. He just retired from 40 years as a long haul driver. Hard work. There was four of us, and me and him probably were the ones that started hustling at a very young age. I started working 13, 14 years old, chicharrón factory in La Puerta, California. Packed chicharrones and chorizo and pig's feet. And I had some jobs, school programs, but that was like my first real, I guess you would say real job, because it was outside of the school district. My brother, when he was young, maybe 11, 12, maybe even 10, he'd walk the neighborhood and offer to mow the neighbors' lawns. And he did this for quite some time. He got quite the following. And because what drove him was the money. It was the bacon he was making. And so he was a hustler. And as far as the four of us, me and him are probably more similar in that regard. But when I was talking to him about retirement, you could tell the man was done. He's just done. He doesn't need to go back. He is just done. And then I related back to a conversation that I had with my stepson, Big Dog's son, sometime back after Big Dog had retired. And his son was probably late 30s, early 40s at the time. And he couldn't understand, being that his dad had worked so hard for so long, because he saw his dad work sometimes 3-4 jobs at a time just to provide for his family. And he couldn't understand how his dad could just stop working. Like, he couldn't comprehend that. I think I understood where Big Dog was coming from, because I was, those kind of thoughts start circling around as you start getting older. By that time, I was in my 50s, late 50s. And, like I would tell Ryan, which I understood, it's a push. There was always a push that I had just to keep moving, to keep moving forward, to keep working, whatever, get that next thing, whatever it was, just to keep pushing. I understood that, and I got what he was talking about and how his dad didn't have that push anymore. His dad was just done. I saw this in my brother. And as I was talking to my brother, I was telling him how that really I'm at a time that I would like to get back to work. And I told him, but what I'm finding is very different this time, this season in my life, because it's different now. Even looking for a job is very different. I mean, there was a time when you take a paper resume in, you shake the person's hand, and sometimes, I was fortunate enough, sometimes I got hired right there, right on the spot, just like that. That's a rarity. Now, when I was working at the funeral home, the last place I worked at, there were times when people would come in, and if they came into that office looking for a position, I always wanted to meet them, because I know that was something out of the norm. I wanted to see how they presented themselves. I wanted to see what the resume paper felt like. But to me, I gave them credit for that, because it took guts, and it takes guts to do that, because not everybody, it's easy just to be the warrior on the keyboard and just saying your stuff out, and then you may hear something, you may not. And it's just very different. But again, when I get back to my brother, as I'm watching him, I think this man is just so done. And I was talking to him about, how I feel like I still have more to offer. I can still do something. And he says, well, with the energy that you have. So he sensed what I was trying to put down. He goes, why don't you do something? Why don't you build something your own? I go, you know what? I am. And that's kind of when I went through this whole process with affiliate marketing. But I think the reason for this conversation wasn't about me doing the affiliate marketing, because I've shared, my journey on that, and I'll continue to do that. My point of this conversation was the fact that I was even questioning myself after having left the workforce in 2022 And now, fast forward, 4 years later, I'm questioning as to, was I supposed to be retired? And maybe there are many of you that left your last employer thinking that you were done because, you were over the age of so-called retirement. I guess over 60, 62 is when you can actually start collecting Social Security. So maybe you're over 60 and there was an assumption, a presumption, whatever you want to call it, that once you left that employer that you were going to retire. And I will have to say, I did say I was going to retire, because now that I think back, so it's like, how did I get here? I did say I was going to retire, and I think there was a lot of assumption about that. And I think part of that is attached to your age. And I was good with that. Big Dog wanted me to retire. He was so done. This man, when he quit his job, when he was done, he was done. The only reason he did go back to work while I was working, because he said, no, if you're going to be working, I'll go do something. But he had just got a part-time job as a school bus driver. Oh my gosh, poor man. But he did that, but he was so ready for me to stop working. He wanted to enjoy the time that we had and do this or do that. So, and the reality is, Big Dog's 10 years older than me. That is always something I'm very conscious of. And in my thoughts about leaving my last employer, it wasn't because this was the day I was going to retire. I think at that point in time, I was just done. Now realize we were now going into the third year after COVID, and or entering the third year after COVID. And our office is it's a family-owned business with 3 locations. 2 crematories, 1 main cemetery, and 3 offices in the East Valley. Very, very busy. And the number of cases was not falling. And I think, some people call it the death industry, the funeral industry, whatever you call it. I enjoyed working there. A lot of my career has been with, I've worked in a crisis center, I've been a work on paralegal. The bulk of my career has been in social services as far as housing authorities, and then the last 7 years was with the funeral home. And I've enjoyed every single one of my jobs because I've learned something different from each one, and I've learned about people from each one of those positions. But I think after COVID, it was just different. I think I wanted to leave, but I think I just needed to take a breath. I just needed to kind of reset, and I didn't realize that until I've had some time now to kind of reflect and understand where I'm at now, understand where my energy's at now, because I was just really, it was just burnout is what the reality was. I know that now. I didn't realize that at the time, but I was over 60, okay, yeah, I'm ready to retire, and woohoo, Gigi's retired, woohoo, Gigi's retiring, let's get ready, and had a little luncheon for me. It was great. That part of it, they're great people. But once I left there, me and Big Dog did some traveling, loved it. We went cross country, enjoyed it. We had a trailer, we had our jet with us, and had a great time. And thoroughly enjoyed that. We had gone on a couple other trips since then. But then life happens. My dad was suffering dementia, so I wanted to be able to help where I could. Then my best friend Tiffany passed unexpectedly during this time frame, and our beloved Jet passed last year unexpectedly as well. So stuff was happening, that I was just busy. And now, coming into 2026, there's a little bit of time to kind of like breathe and kind of like, because at the probably about mid part of last year of 2025, I started thinking, because I would ask Big Dog, or I would tell Big Dog, I think I want to get a job. He said, what? You just don't know how to do retirement. No, I think I know how to do retirement. It's just I don't think I'm ready for retirement. And that's kind of what because I actually was getting antsy about it. Like, I think I could do something. I still have my wits about me. And mind you, I was also going to school too. I've been kind of going to school this whole time. And I was just spinning about it. And if there's anybody out there who thought they were ready to retire and no, they weren't, let me know. Because this message is for you. So as I was continuing a conversation with my brother, I told him, well, I told him I have already got 100 resumes out there, and I don't think it's necessarily, like some people want to. I had a friend of mine who's was looking for a job, and we're the same age, and she goes, well, age discrimination. I don't want to call it age discrimination. It's just a different environment, a different set. I'm at a different place. And I think just to get inside the door, which I know because I hired people at the funeral home, just to get inside the door is not as easy as it used to be. Like I said, unless you walk in and somebody who's willing to take the time to meet with you. So I don't want to say it's that. I think it's just very different. And it feels different. And I'm at a different place. So, explain to me, I've got like 100 resumes out there. Not getting anything, and that my mom had sent me some clips about this Lori Ballin and affiliate marketing, and it intrigued me, and that's what I've been doing. And I'm starting to do something here. And I told him, to me, I see it as really creating a business. So it's like I didn't sit around, and I guess this is the message. Let me lean in. This is the message I want to get out there. Don't wait for somebody to make the decision for you. You make the decision for yourself. If you want to work, do it. Now, what I'm doing, it's working, but I don't consider it work because I'm enjoying it. Maybe that's a difference. Because my mom always said when I was younger, and I'm trying to do this and I'm trying to do that, I'm trying to go to school, raise my kids, I got a husband, I'm run. She used to say, you may have everything that you want in your life, but you may not get it all at the same time. Huh? What, Mom? And one of the things I've always wanted to do is have my own business. And I tried. I did some freelancing because like I said, I was a work comp paralegal. So I did some freelancing on the side with an attorney, when I was in Central Valley, California. And that was great. But it was never enough to be able to create enough or earn enough money to provide for my family. So I always worked, but I always kind of wanted my own gig. So when I started listening to what this gal was doing, I'm thinking, I'm kind of already interested in this kind of stuff, and I'm thinking there's something I can do with that. That's how I started on the journey of affiliate marketing and blogging and pinning and doing all that stuff, because instead of just sitting here, nobody wants to hire me, woe is me. And I've never been one to be a whiner. Woe is me, that's not the attitude I have. It's like, let me get some shit done, let me see what I gotta do. That's Gigi's attitude. So after I listened to what this gal was saying, I created my own blog, which I've blogged for some time. I enjoy writing. That's kind of my creative energy. It kind of goes through there. But this is a different kind of writing. This is more like marketing. Marketing. Where on other like Substack, that's more of a personal storytelling type of stuff. Anyway, so create a website, which I was already familiar with creating a website. I had already created 3 in the past, so I got that. Pinterest, I had a Pinterest account, but didn't really utilize it, but I was familiar enough to understand. Creating images, I'm a photographer. I like to create videos, so that was within my wheelhouse as well. So then, bringing them all together, I was able to form this business that's Gigi's Unfiltered. That's also where we're at right now, but my blog site is Gigi's Unfiltered. My Amazon or my affiliate marketing YouTube channel is Gigi Unfiltered Finds, and I actually now have a storefront, an Amazon influencer on Gigi Unfiltered Finds on Amazon, and I've got my first ebook out there, kind of explaining my journey during this time, and also putting stuff on the storefront and also my YouTube channels, and I'm starting to see some traction. Because remember, I started from zero. There was nothing out there, but as hard as that, I was trying to figure this stuff out because AI came into play. Wow, AI just blew my mind. And that has been the biggest help and the biggest thing that has intrigued me, because I get excited when I learn new things. I'm the type of person, it's got to make sense to me, and I like to follow it all the way through. And I can live in gray area. I've worked in a lot of gray area. So I understand not everything's perfect. You have to be able to kind of weigh the pros and cons. And I can do all that. And I think that's why I find AI so intriguing. And, sometimes I hear some of our generation, like, what's AI? What's that about? We don't want it. It's a productivity tool. That's what we have to see it as, a productivity tool. And it's been very productive for me. I'm saying I use ChatGPT, I use Gemini, Google, I use, of course, Claude, and now I think it's called Cider. I'm looking at that one, because there are so many out there that can really help you decide what you want to do. Just get ChatGPT or Claude, say, tell me a story, what you're thinking, and let it do its thing and see what happens. And if it's something you can bounce off of that, do it. And that's kind of what, I wasn't discouraged. I'm still not discouraged about not finding a job. I still, send out resumes or upload resumes on Indeed, and also a ZipRecruiter, and I get the email, sorry, or thank you, oh, okay. And that's okay, because business is business, and that's why I've always kind of seen it like that. I don't take it personal. Is it discouraging at times? Yeah, especially if it's something I really, really want. But you know what? But you got to move, baby. You got to keep moving forward. And I think part of the thing I wanted to share with you is that don't wait. Don't wait for somebody to come and decide for you. I think that's the biggest thing. One day I just realized I'm just going to do something. I think I could do what this lady's doing, and I'm going to do it. And that's how it started. And I was quite excited about it, because these are the things I've learned during this whole process. Of course, created a new website, started my blog for this website, created a new Pinterest account, signed up to be an Amazon associate. Now I'm an Amazon influencer. Created another YouTube channel. I'm still working on this YouTube channel, because this is really my heart and soul right here. You folks are the ones that have continued to stay with me and continue to move forward with me, and have really continued to encourage me. Whether it's through my savings challenges that I continue to drop Money Monday, or vlogging about the travels that me and Big Dog have done, vlogging about my family, vlogging about real life after 60, about retired or not retired. Now, Gigi's retired, but she's trying to figure shit out, you know what I'm saying? And writing, the first ebook. And all this is exciting. I don't find this as work. I don't find this as hard. I find this as excitement, and I lean in around the next curve, because I want to see what's out there. And I think that's the message I'm trying to get out there, because retirement looks different for everybody. My retirement is going to look very different than my brother's. And he's in the early phases of it. Like I tell him, your body is like really decompressing, because you've been like this for so long. Your body has to and that takes time. I know it did for me. I tell him, and you give yourself some grace to go through that process. Don't rush. You ain't got to rush for nobody right now. Your time is yours. So give yourself some grace, decompress, take a breath. Because I even noticed that he was just not, because he's always and not so much and part of that is the change. His mind, his heart, his soul, his body, they're all changing. And they may not all be changing at the same time. When you retire, I'm sure some of you know that, there is a shift. There is a shift in your mindset. There is a shift in your emotional IQ. There is a shift in your body, physically, spiritually, all that. There is a shift, and you have to acknowledge that, to feel good about that, and understand, to give yourself grace about it, because nobody has this stuff figured out. We figure it out as we're going along. We think we know so much, but really we don't, because when we're actually going through it, that's when stuff is happening. That's when stuff is going on, and we have to pay attention to what our body's telling us, because 9 times out of 10, our gut knows what's going on before our brain does. To listen to your body. I learned after I retired, crazy that's going on. I learned to be more mindful and to pay attention. And you want to do that because you want to be here for a long time. You know what I'm saying? So let me just say this, because I could go on and on about this. Gigi likes to chat. Okay, so let me go ahead and start wrapping this up, because Gigi likes to chat. So maybe somebody's out there and they're 8 months out from having retired, wondering what's next. I don't have all the answers because I still don't know what's next. I'm still trying to figure it out myself. So don't rush yourself. But I can tell you this. Don't let anything... Let me just say this, because Gigi can just go on and on. Maybe someone out there's watching this. They're 8 months out or a year out from retirement, wondering what's next. I know I was. I don't have all the answers. I don't. I'm still trying to figure out. But I can tell you this. Don't let waiting become your plan. You ain't got time to wait, baby. Keep learning, keep trying, keep building, because you might discover that your next chapter hasn't even been opened because you haven't even started it yet. When you thought it was over, and it's not. This is a new season for us, for all of us. And the way retirement looks for us now is very different than it was 20 years ago, 30 years ago, or 40 years ago. We have so many more options than maybe our parents, our grandparents, or great-grandparents did. We're at, I think, physically, mentally, we're at a much better place than our parents and generations before us. Whether or not you want to call us Gen Xers or Boomers or Joneses, we're all at a different place. And we've learned so much from generations before us, but we are much better because of that. So don't waste your time. And I say that because, like my mama says, time don't wait for nobody. It doesn't. So don't waste your time. Fall into whatever you feel you want to do. Don't let anybody tell you can't do that. Don't let anybody tell you that you're too old, whether it's your kids or other partners or husbands or whatever it is, whoever's in your circle of trust and outside of that, friends or whatever, people that you are part of your community. Do not allow them to stop you from what you really want to do, because you know what, they ain't you. And one of the things I've always said has been my mantra moving for some time is that do not let your age determine the size of your dreams. That's up to you. You're the only one that holds that. You're the only one that holds your fire. You're the only one that's in control of your fire. If you let somebody else do that, baby, that's on you. So don't do that. So, like I said, I wanted to come on here real quick, 20 minutes, to just kind of let you know what I was thinking, the conversation I had with my brother. And like I said, retirement is different for everybody, but your time is precious right now, so don't waste it. And if anybody out there had to hear, and maybe I gave them a good shove, a good move, or a good nudge to keep moving forward, I hope that helps. So until next time, you'll see me on Monday, but I just want to drop a line and say what I said, okay? All right, folks. Until next time, you know what Gigi says. Gigi says, tits up, be fierce. I'll see you later. Cheers, folks. See ya. So turn the lights on. You know just what we're here for.